totally cool.
Well, Chef Utterback, thank you so much for the time today. Really appreciate it.
No, thanks for having me.
Well, a joy to be here at Yoshitomo. I'd love to start off talking with you about your roots. When did you develop your passion for food, for cooking, and like when did that kind of start that you realized this is what you want to do?
I got into cooking about 18 years ago. And 18 years ago, the world of food is very different. There aren't really celebrity chefs. No one's really getting into the industry, with eyes on it being like a career. Very few are at that time. And so, like anyone else, I'm just getting a job at a restaurant because I just need money, right? And so it was actually, I had 2 other jobs, and this was a roommate. I was living in a house with 11 other people, all my bandmates in my band and all their girlfriends. But one of them was a bartender at a sushi restaurant here in town, and he said they were hiring for sushi chefs, and I needed a 3rd job. And so I went in. I'm half Japanese, so I got the job immediately. And it kind of just started there. It was really just a means to pay bills. I found that, over time that I was pretty good with my hands. Dropped out of school enough times where I wasn't going to go back. Started to get better at sushi, and, after 3 or 4 years, of doing it, I took sort of my first trip to Japan, solo as an adult. And I managed to get a reservation at what is now the hardest reservation in the world to get, at a restaurant called Sukiyabashi Jiro, which is a really exclusive sushi counter. And at that dinner, my life was changed. I met true professionals for the first time. I ate fine food for the first time in my life, and I immediately came home and was like, I'm going to quit messing around. I'm going to be a cook. I'm going to be a sushi chef. And that's, sort of from that moment on, I decided this is what I want to do.
Gosh, the power of food right there.
Yeah.
One experience
Yeah.
can spark a successful award-winning career.
Yeah, it's just
That's awesome.
one meal.
One meal.
It lasted 30 minutes. And I was in and out the door in 30 minutes. I was $300 poorer. But yeah, it was worth it.
Wow. So based off that answer, fair to say you learned so much of your skill on the job and from the streets, and like getting into the industry from that first sushi position, not really any school or culinary academies or anything like that.
At the time, the chefs in Japan weren't, really open to bringing on, apprentices from the U.S. And there wasn't a lot of really fine sushi being made in the U.S. either. And so, I had made this decision that I wanted to be like these greats, but there was nowhere to learn it. And so over the past 15 years since then, I've just had to teach myself. Wow. So yeah.
And you mentioned, you found out you're pretty good with your hands. You kind of had a talent for it, and then just developing that over time is what's kind of elevated you to this, fantastic status.
Yeah, I'm the kind of person that sort of obsesses about things, and so this was something that I could obsess about and just never totally figure out, right? And so I can continuously work on it, improve my skills.
Can you take us a little bit through before you opened Yoshitomo in 2017? Where were the stops beforehand? Did you have some other restaurants you were working at before you opened this restaurant?
So basically, all of my sushi experience before I opened the restaurant was with Flagship Restaurant Group, who own and run Blue Sushi Sake Grill. And so I started off in their very first restaurant, washing dishes, sweeping the floors, making rice, and over a couple years worked my way up through the ranks to become one of their kind of executive corporate chefs. And so I helped run that program for about 12 years. And when it became time to sort of do my own thing, I left them, and there was just a couple of years, a couple months really, in between me leaving there and me opening up the doors here.
Opening up Yoshitomo, David, how is that? I mean, your first business, right? In terms of...
It's terrifying, right? Because when you work for somebody, you have all these ideas of like how I would do it if I was in charge, right? And then now you're finally in charge, and it's time to sort of like put up or shut up. And you don't know if it's going to be successful. Even the location here in Benson, it was just starting to come up. It's in the middle of the city. It's kind of hard to get to. It's not really a place that you would point to and say, Here's where a successful restaurant is going to open up. But it was the cheapest place for us to do it. And so, you know, in the lead up to opening the restaurant, you know, I didn't have a loan or money. I drank a bottle of wine one night, applied for 0% interest credit cards, got all of them, and I opened the restaurant on 5 credit cards 3 months later.
Betting on yourself.
Yeah,
That's
so
really-
it's like, it's either going to work or I'm homeless, right?
No in between.
Well, I think that you know, successful things need to sort of be, you know, everything needs to be on the line. You know, if you have to do it to survive, then, you know, you're going to find ways to be lazy, get out of it, not do the work. Here, if I didn't come to work and do it, there was going to be nothing. I was going to lose everything. And so, you know, I didn't take a paycheck for the first 3 months. You know, I was selling my guitars and knives and, you know, living off, you know, just scraps, you know, that I had saved up to kind of get it all going. And so, you know, you talk about pulling yourself from your bootstraps. You know, we literally went from nothing to making it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time, especially in those first 3 months, where, you know, you're like, oh man, did I make a mistake? Or was it always, you know, you had this vision and this belief, and obviously it's paid off and it was right. So
I mean, any small business owner will tell you it never stops. Like, there will never come a day where you're not like, did I make a mistake? Am I going to be suddenly out of business tomorrow? And I think even the pandemic showed us that, like, it can all turn on the drop of a dime.
That's a good point. Yep. Well, congratulations on another James Beard nomination. Obviously, all of us here in Omaha rooting for you, hardcore.
Thanks.
When you hear this accomplishment and looking back over your career, what are some of the top accomplishments that come to mind across your journey?
You know, when the top accomplishments, you know, really opening the restaurant, you know, getting it open, you know, the getting our private OTA counter up and going, you know, that was kind of the main goal of all of this, was to be like those sushi chefs from that first dinner. And so the restaurant was a means to get there to that counter. And, you know, so getting there was huge. And then in the last 2 years, we even expanded that counter and, you know, expanded into a whole new space for that. So that was really huge for us.
Yeah.
You know, just that first James Beard nomination was out of nowhere. You know, you're just quietly making sushi rolls, and then next thing you know, you know, people like it, and you know, you're being recognized for those things. So, you know, we've had a lot of, you know, successes over the last couple of years.
And you being from Omaha, I mean, to represent, that's got to be emotional in a way.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. You know, like I said, when we first got in, when I got into the industry 18 years ago, you know, the Beard Awards were happening, but they, you know, we got some attention. We've had some chefs get nominated throughout the years, but now it feels like there's some real momentum in the last couple of years, and up until more recently, it felt like our city's food scene, you know, was just kind of being ignored, and now it's really in the forefront, and people are traveling here to eat at our restaurant. So it's really cool to be kind of a part of that. Yeah.
And I think that's a great segue to you joining 2 other esteemed chefs in our great food city for a culinary cook-off next month to benefit the food bank for the Heartland. Thank you for being part of it. What made you want to, you know, be a part of it this year?
You know, so they've asked me a couple of years, and for a couple of years I've said no, you know, due to my, you know, just apprehensive anxiety about, you know, just kind of being alone on stage in front of all these people. But really it was actually the other 2 chefs. I had heard that Tim and Nick were involved in, and I was like, I just want to do an event with them. And so it was really the other 2 chefs that, you know, they didn't ask me to do it. I just heard that they were in it. I'm like, they're in it, I'm in it too.
I love that. And talking with Tim and Nick already, and you bringing them up as well, just this community of restaurants that has each other's back, and you speak so positively and encouraging about each other. That's so refreshing. And you think from the outside it can be very competitive and gung ho against each other, but you all speak so highly of each other. That's beautiful. Where does that come from?
I'm not quite sure. You know, it wasn't, you know, 15 years ago, it wasn't quite this way. A lot of us came up together. in kitchens. Like we worked together in kitchens, and then now run kitchens, across town. And so a lot of us are just naturally friends already. And I think just the competitiveness of the restaurants, I think we've all learned that, when we support each other, everybody comes up, right? Just because I have, 5 minutes in the sun doesn't mean your restaurant is not good, right? It just means I get my 5 minutes, and now I'm happy that you get yours. And so I think we've just learned that the more we've supported each other, more recently, the better we've all done.
Yeah, feeding off each other's positive energy and
Absolutely.
success.
Yes.
That's great. Is this the first kind of culinary cook-off you're ever going to be a part of? Have you done anything like this before?
Yes, I am very much not a fan of competition cooking. I just don't think that that's what food's about. And even in this, I'm a sushi chef. These other two guys can cook circles around me, like literally. Like I have to learn how to cook like now. Like I need to go take a class at Metro. I'm gonna have to go on stage and like pretend that I actually know how to saute and and do all of that. And so I think at the very end of the day, I just hope there's 3 chefs. I just hope to be in the top 3 of the night.
Yeah, you will.
As long as I'm not laughed off stage, it's fine.
Again, another James Beard Award nominee talking like this.
Yeah,
it's so humbling, it's refreshing to hear.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
And again, for the good cause of trying to raise over 2 million meals for those in need, and the fact that you doing this maybe outside of your comfort zone, I think speaks volumes to that need and the mission. That's great. A couple rapid fire questions, if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, perfect. First off, favorite thing right now on the Yoshitomo menu?
Our kani miso. It's a crab rice. So we take crab, we take all of its meat out, and then we take what's called the mustard, the tamale. You could call it the brains. It's basically all the leftover juices and stuff that gets all mixed together with a bunch of butter and garlic and some paprika. It's super rich. It's super delicious, but that gets mixed up with some rice. Some salmon roe gets topped on it. I could eat like a bucket of it every day.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah.
How about your favorite thing to put together as a chef, either here at the restaurant or at home, that you just enjoy maybe building and...
I really like crudos. They're essentially an Italian version of sashimi.
Okay.
So just raw fish. You usually get some sort of oil, a salt, and some sort of acidic element. But we have a crudo here that we make that has some kiwis and a Peruvian leche de tigre. I really love making crudos because it just gives you a canvas that you can really work with, and you can do a lot of different stuff with it.
Be creative.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Calories out the window.
Okay.
You're ready. You just need to indulge. What is David Utterback's cheat meal?
Right now, it's probably Dumpling Empire, and I think that's everybody's spot right now. Definitely Dumpling Empire right now.
Great answer. And then along those lines, where else in Omaha do you like to eat? What are some of your restaurants you like to pop on by when you're outside of Yoshitomo?
So I don't think there's any more secrets about good restaurants. Like I think we all know all of the restaurants in town. We're a pretty big food town. When me and my wife go out to eat, we have children, and so if we have to go to places that have like chicken nugget cuisine.
Right.
And
yeah,
so
the
random few nights that we get like a babysitter and me and my wife can just kind of go out on a date, we actually don't go to one restaurant. We'll go to 4 or 5 back to back. And so we do like a triple bang or a quadruple bang and just eat at all these restaurants. So it's less like the last time we went out, if you want to hear our favorite restaurants.
Please.
We started at Via Farina. We went to the Boiler Room, then we went to V Mertz, and then we ended at Al Courant, and that was like a date night.
You say stomach space all the time. Are you planning this out, or
You
just
plan it out. So
Yeah,
you
okay,
go,
yep.
you stop in, you get a glass of wine, you get a starter to share, then you get another glass of wine and a main to share, and then you go to the next restaurant.
Nice.
And so when you finish, you've drank a lot, you've eaten a lot, but you've eaten it over 3 hours, 4 hours, and
Right.
so it's okay.
Time,
yeah,
it
it
makes
works.
some
It
room
works.
there. That's
Yeah.
great.
I highly recommend it.
I love that, and I love that you mentioned, when you get the date night, so you really maximize it when you get that
Yes.
opportunity. It
Yes.
sounds like
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
All right, last question for you, and I forgot the name. I apologize, but have you been back to the Japanese restaurant that you modeled Yoshitomo right after since that first encounter?
So Sukiyabashi Jiro, when I went, I was the only diner of the day.
Wow.
There's been a big sushi boom. There was a documentary made about that restaurant, and food tourism has really grown, and sushi chefs as kind of celebrities have grown, and they went from me being the only diner that day to being so unbookable that they lost their Michelin. They had 3 Michelin stars, and they lost them because the restaurant was technically not public anymore. You can only get in now if you've been a regular for years. So I have emailed. I've tried to get back in. I have not been back in. You just can't get in anymore. And
Not yet. We're going to keep out hope.
Yeah, I try
we're
every
gonna let
year.
you in.
I try every year, but I have not been back. I would love a chance to talk to them again. When I went for that first meal, I'm sitting with these sushi chefs. Jiro-san, he was 70, 80. He'd already been doing the job for almost 60 years. But I had at that time 2.5, 3 years of experience, and I confidently sat on the other side of the sushi counter from them and proclaimed that I too was a sushi chef, right? And they just laughed, like they laughed in my face. And so I would love the opportunity to go back and be like, I'm a sushi chef, I'm back, and see if they would still laugh at me, which they probably would. It's fine.
What a story, though, to be the only customer that day.
Yeah.
To now, to being so exclusive. That's awesome. And we're glad for that moment because it brought you here, which has just been such a joy for all of us. So
Yes.
thank you, David.
No, thank you.
Is there anything we're missing? Open forum that you want to talk about?
No, I just
Get out there.
really appreciate, the opportunity and really the support from the city over the last couple of years. Even the recognition from the Beard Foundation doesn't come in a vacuum. It comes from the support, of our community. The community supports the restaurant. They talk about it. They get excited about it, and that's how these things happen for us. And so the more support we have for our local restaurants, the better our local food scene becomes. And so, really, we can't do any of this. I can't even participate, with the Food Bank for the Heartland, unless I had support from the city to do so. And so I just, I can never say it enough. Just I really, a big thank you to Omaha.
Oh, well said. Thank you, David. And I feel like we might be lucky enough to get a little sampling of
Sure.
put something together.
Yeah.
Thank you. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Let's go do it. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Great job. That was awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.